Robert F. Kennedy Jr. testifies on Tuesday before Congress due to concerns in how he's running the Health and Human Services Department. Labor Secretary Lola Geyer is now the third member to exit President Trump's cabinet.
The FBI and Justice Department are scrambling to rebuild the workforce after feeling the consequences of multiple firings and resignations. Kash Patel threatens to sue The Atlantic after a report was published with multiple defamatory claims. Welcome to WUTV. I'm Allison, Padula, and this is Alexis Hilton.
Current and former FBI officials are seeing a lowering of long-accepted standards. The FBI and Justice Department are working to rebuild the depleted workforce after a wave of departures over the past year. The FBI has used social media campaigns to attract applicants as well as offered abbreviated training for candidates from other federal agencies and relaxed requirements for support staff seeking to become agents. The Justice Department has opened the door to hiring prosecutors right out of law school to help fill vacancies in attorneys' offices around the country. These moves reflect the efforts to stabilize the workforce that was damaged by retirements and resignations prompted by concerns over the Trump administration's dealing of the departments, along with firings of lawyers, agents, and other employees deemed insufficiently loyal to President Trump's agenda. FBI Director Kash Patel says he will take the Atlantic to court over a bombshell report published Friday evening that says he says is filled with defamatory claims. Patel told the Atlantic in a statement, "Printed, all false, I'll see you in court, bring your checkbook." The story, titled "The FBI Director's MIA," outlined several explosive allegations, including instances of erratic behavior, excessive drinking, and unexplained absences. Atlantic staff writer Sarah Fitzpatrick alludes in the article that Kash Patel is worried that his job is in jeopardy following Attorney General Pam Bondi's firing. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told the Atlantic that Patel remains a critical player of the administration's law and order team. Fitzpatrick is standing by her reporting even under legal threat, as well as the Atlantic's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, who said, "We stand by our reporting on Kash Patel." Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. testified on Tuesday before Congress in separate hearings for the House and Senate. He was questioned again on his drastic changes to the department, including his overhaul of the childhood vaccine schedule, his doubt about the measles vaccines, and the gutting of staff in federal health agencies.
Labor Secretary Lola Geyer is the third member under President Donald Trump to leave her post after the firing of Homeland Security Kristi Noem and ousting of Attorney General Pam Bondi. On Monday, the Trump administration announced that Geyer would be leaving following a series of alleged abuses of her position's power, including having an affair with a subordinate and drinking alcohol on the job. In a statement, White House spokesperson Stephen Chung and Keith Sonderling, the current Deputy Labor Secretary, would become the acting Labor Secretary in Geyer's place. Tariff refunds are finally being put into action this Monday. Exactly 2 months after the Supreme Court struck down President Donald Trump's tariffs, American importers who are owed $166 billion in refunds plus interest can begin applying for reimbursement on Monday. It is estimated that refunds will be issued within 60 to 90 days after approval, but could take longer. However, not all tariff payments will be eligible to apply for reimbursement on Monday. For the first phase, only entities who have made certain tariff payments will be able to make refund submissions, and it is unclear when the system will open for all payments subjected to refund. The process could drag out even longer if the Trump administration takes further actions to delay or reduce the size of refunds. On Monday, a Pennsylvania court ruled that the state's constitution guarantees a right to abortion, making it the first time that abortion rights are protected under Pennsylvania's constitution. This ruling by a divided 7-judge panel of the appellate-level Commonwealth Court is a major victory for Planned Parenthood and other abortion clinics who sued Pennsylvania in 2019 over its Medicaid funding restrictions.
Philadelphia has secured free SEPTA subway rides home for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Airbnb has partnered with Philadelphia Soccer 2026 to provide free rides home on SEPTA's B line after all 6 World Cup matches at the Lincoln Financial Field this summer. This comes days after New Jersey Transit announced a controversial pricing plan for the World Cup matches at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. The free rides will begin at halftime and continue for 2 hours after the end of the match. SEPTA will also run its Sports Express train, which runs every 10 minutes. Unlike other cities hosting World Cup matches, SEPTA is also keeping the regular fare of $2.90 for the matches. The Philadelphia Parking Authority has launched a new speed camera program to reduce speeding and crashes around city schools. The 5 city schools were selected based on crash data from 2019 to 2023, which recorded speeding and pedestrian crashes resulting in serious or fatal injuries. Enforcement for this program began on February 17th with a 60-day warning period, which ended Monday, April 20th. From now on, anyone caught speeding will be fined $100 for speeds 11 to 19 miles per hour above the speed limit and up to $150 an hour for 30 miles per hour or more. The main goal of this program is to reduce dangerous driving and speeding to protect students and families in the area. To honor serving the American public for 250 years, the United States Postal Service has released Figures of the American Revolution Forever stamps. These stamps feature 25 individual portraits honoring some of the people whose actions helped shape the American Revolution and establish the independence of the United States. USPS says each portrait was created especially for the Postal Service by one of 12 artists.
A year-round multi-experience entertainment destination will open next month for Philadelphia sports fans. Comcast Spectator and the Cordish companies have announced the grand opening of the $20 million transformation of Stateside Live scheduled for next month. Chairman and CEO of Comcast Spectator, Dan Hilferty, said the newly transformed Stateside Live represents an important anchor for what's next. The property will host a weekend-long grand opening celebration from Friday, May 29th through Sunday, May 31st. Jeffrey Bezos' rocket company, Blue Origin, has failed the launch of a New Glenn rocket, which is Blue Origin's massive rocket used to bring spacecrafts to orbit. The company claims that a bad engine made them fail the launch, leaving a space mobile satellite in the wrong orbit. This was the New Glenn's third launch, and NASA is counting on New Glenn to launch Blue Moon lunar landers for the Artemis moon program. There's no immediate word on when or where the rocket's upper stage or the satellite will fall through the atmosphere. The Lyra meteor shower is peaking this week, ending a nearly 16-week stretch without any visible meteors. The showers will be active from April 14th to April 25th. If you want to try and watch it at home, it is recommended that you do so away from tall buildings and unnatural lights. It is also important to give your eyes about 15 to 30 minutes to adjust to the darkness and to face a clear patch of the northeastern sky. You will not have to use binoculars to see the showers. Sky gazing experts advise that you just sit back and relax while watching the showers. Here in Chester, we're seeing a huge drop in temperatures from last week. Let's check in with weather anchor Jaden Crutchfield and Gage Grace live on Memorial Field to see what else we can expect this week.
Thank you, Allison. My name is Jaden Crutchfield.
And I'm Gage Grace.
And this is your live weather hit. We are currently standing on Memorial Field where it is a sunny 76 degrees. Days like today are perfect for going outside and catching some vitamin D.
If you want to know more about what you should be wearing, let's look at Widener Wayne, who's got on his glasses, a brand new beard, and a nice hat to protect him from the UV rays. If you want to know more about your weekly forecast, stay tuned for the Weather Center with Ashton Ray. But right now, let's head back to the sports desk with Dillon Hastings.
This week at the Sports Desk, the Flyers and Sixers are on their respective playoff run as the A.J. Brown saga continues. All that and more coming right after this break.
Wherever you go at Widener, you've always got your pride. Everywhere you go, and behind everything you do. And before you know it, you are working in your field, realizing your life's ambitions before you even leave Widener.
If you have a dream, come join us.
Widener University. Many roars, one pride.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk. I'm Dillon Hastings. The NFL Draft is Thursday night. The Philadelphia Eagles hold 8 picks throughout the weekend, including the 23rd pick overall. Do not be surprised, however, if GM Howie Roseman decides to trade a number of these picks, as just 2 years ago they broke the NFL record for the most trades during the draft with 8. Experts mock that the Eagles will be aggressive again. Speaking of the Eagles, we have been hearing about rumors for A.J. Brown's future with the Eagles for months. And early Monday morning, multiple top NFL insiders, including ESPN's Adam Schefter, hinted that the deal will be finalized with the AFC champion New England Patriots to send Brown to Foxborough. The trade would be a post-June 1st deal due to it harming the Eagles less from a financial standpoint. The Philadelphia Flyers are 1 game away from moving on. Last night in a chippy affair, the Flyers took Game 3 of their first-round series against the Penguins 5-2. It was the first playoff home win for the Flyers since 2016. They look to complete the sweep at home on Saturday. No Joel Embiid, no problem. The Sixers have tied the series at 1 apiece with the Boston Celtics after 2 masterful performances from Tyrese Maxey and rookie VJ Edgecombe, who became the youngest player in NBA history to finish a playoff game with at least 30 points and 10 rebounds. The series now returns to Philadelphia for Game 3 tomorrow. Philadelphia Phillies ace Zach Wheeler will make his season debut Saturday against the Atlanta Braves. Wheeler hasn't pitched in the majors since last August after undergoing a surgery to remove a blood clot from his right arm. The veteran's performance was up and down during the rehab stint as he finished with a 5.85 ERA over 20 frames. Now being fully recovered from the surgery, Wheeler should be able to handle a mostly normal workload in his first start of the season on Saturday.
Gabby Nine has done it again for the 3rd consecutive time she has been named Max Track Athlete of the Week. Nye broke Widener record set by herself in the 1,500 meter with a time of 4 minutes and 27 seconds. Her time currently ranks 10th in the country. Widener senior baseball pitcher Hayden O'Neill was named MAC Conference Pitcher of the Week after throwing an absolute gem against Hood. He pitched 6 innings, allowing just 2 runs on 6 while recording 1 strikeout and no walks. This win helped earn them the 2nd seed in this season's MAC Commonwealth Tournament. On Friday, April 24th, the Pride takes on Eastern in the final regular season series. I'm Jordan Scales. That's it for the Sports Desk. Sending it over to Lola Geyer with World News.
Up next on World News, Japan experiences an earthquake and political tensions rise, and a national treasure returns to Romania. Welcome to World News, where we cover the biggest stories from around the world. I'm Lola Geyer. On Monday, April 20th, a 7.7 magnitude earthquake off the northern coast of Japan sparked a multitude of tsunami alerts. The biggest tsunami wave measured a total of 80 centimeters. However, tsunami warnings were quickly lifted hours after the quake. Authorities claimed that a risk of an 8.0 magnitude quake was relatively higher than usual. No injuries were reported. However, around 100 homes are without power. Many bullet trains were affected, and more than 170,000 people across several prefectures were told to evacuate. The warning was the second of highest of 3 levels of alert. Prime Minister Takaichi urged residents to seek shelter and check emergency food supplies. Continuing news in Japan, the government has just scrapped a ban that would have prevented the exportation of lethal weapons. This has sparked a major change in their pacifist policy as the country aims to rebuild defense and relationships between allies. The chief cabinet secretary stated that the new policy will ensure safety for Japan and contribute to peace and stability in the region. Many countries, especially China, have showed their displeasure in this change as they fear it could increase growing tensions between the two. China has also begun restricting their own exports into Japan as a response of their dissatisfaction with Prime Minister Takaichi. In Mexico, a gunman opened fire over a crowd of tourists at a historic archaeological site and pyramids north of Mexico's capital. At least 13 people were injured and one Canadian tourist was killed. The youngest injured was just 6 years old. The shooter was identified as 27-year-old Julio Ramirez, who later died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Disruption occurred as the gunman opened fire close to the top of the pyramid, leaving victims who were also on the pyramid struggling to flee. Previously, the site had carried out security scans, but local guides have noted that they have recently stopped. Mexican President Sheinbaum stated that they were currently investigating the matter. The world's oldest gorilla has just celebrated her 69th birthday on April 13th. Named Fatau, she currently resides in Berlin Zoo, and while her background story is unknown, the zoo confirmed that she arrived in West Berlin Zoo in 1959 at the age of 2. While her exact date of birth is unknown, she celebrated this day with a vegetable feast. At 69 years old, she prefers to keep her distance from the other gorillas in her enclosure. Because of her poor eyesight, arthritis, and high blood sugar, she is unable to eat her favorite food of blueberries and raspberries. However, zookeepers are taking extra precautions to get her the proper care she needs. A golden helmet that dates back 2,500 years has just been returned to Romania on Tuesday. The national heirloom was stolen from the Netherlands Drents Museum in 2025 in a raid that devastated Romanian authorities. The helmet and 3 golden bracelets were on loan in the museum and date from the Dacia civilization. After months of investigations, diplomatic tensions, and 3 suspects on trials, the artifacts have finally returned home where they will be displayed in Bucharest's National History Museum. The museum's director stated that they have lived in fear that a part of their past could be lost forever, but now can say that an essential part of this treasure has returned. That's all for now. Let's head back to the desk with Alexis Hilton.
Thank you, Lola. Big news for shrimp fans. Red Lobster has officially announced the return of the ultimate endless shrimp starting April 20th, 2026. This is the very first time the deal has returned since it's famously contributed to the company's bankruptcy filing in 2024. CEO Damola Adamokulin citing thousands of social media mentions and high consumer demand as the primary reason for the comeback. With this deal, consumers will be able to order 5 shrimp meals, old and new. These include the new Marry Me shrimp and fan favorites like garlic shrimp scampi, shrimp linguine alfredo, Walt's favorite shrimp, and Parrot Isle coconut shrimp. Unlike the previous $20 permanent deal, the 2026 return is a limited time offer with localized pricing estimated to be between $24.99 and $29.99. Many fast food chains are leaning into the protein push. McDonald's is unveiling a new menu with options that have more than 15 grams of protein. Dunkin' and Starbucks are now letting customers add protein milk to their drinks. Subway has their new protein pockets with more than 20 grams of protein. And finally, Chipotle has items ranging from 15 to 81 grams of protein. Nutritionists recommend 30 to 40 grams per meal depending on your diet. The Super Mario Galaxy movie has dominated the box office for its second weekend in theaters, holding the #1 spot. It has grossed a domestic total of $308.1 million after adding an additional $69 million in North America and surpasses $774 million worldwide, officially becoming the highest grossing film of 2026 so far. ComScore analysis have noted the astonishing hold, particularly impressive given the high volume of lower-priced children's tickets sold. Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling, has held strong in second place during its 4th weekend in theaters. Co-directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller have confirmed the film will not head to streaming anytime soon due to them opting for an extended theater-only run. The film has crossed $300 million worldwide, performing exceptionally well in international markets such as the United Kingdom, China, and Brazil. The success between these films has created the strongest yearly box office start since the beginning of the pandemic. The total industry earnings have reached $2.113 billion by early April, signaling a major recovery for the theaters.
On Monday, April 20th, Apple announced that John Ternus will become the company's new chief executive officer, effective September 1st. Before joining Apple, he earned a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Pennsylvania. Tim Cook, who served as CEO for 15 years, will transition to the role of executive chairman. In a news release, the incoming CEO, Ternus, stated, "I am profoundly grateful for this opportunity to carry Apple's mission forward." Fashion's biggest night returns on Monday, May 4th, as the 2026 Met Gala comes back to the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. Beyoncé returns to the Met for the first time since 2016 to serve as co-chair alongside Oscar-winning actress Nicole Kidman, tennis legend Venus Williams, and longtime event architect Anna Wintour. The exhibition title this year is Costume Art, created by Andrew Bolton. This theme will explore the dressed body by pairing historical and contemporary garments with the Met's vast collections of sculptures, paintings, and antiques spanning more than 5,000 years. For the first time, it will be housed in the brand new Condé M. Nast galleries. The exhibition opens to the public on May 10th, 2026, and runs through January 27th, 2027. Delaware County High School teacher Leon Smith, an advanced placement U.S. history and African American studies teacher at Haverford High School of 25 years, was just named the 2026 National Teacher of the Year.
From April 10th to 12th, the rock, paper, scissors throwdown was held at the American Dream Mall in East Rutherford, New Jersey, where 384 competitors threw hands for the chance to take home $10,000. $25,000 is to be distributed amongst the top 12 competitors. The throwdown resulted in Julio Rivera, a veterinarian assistant who was playing with no set strategy, to be crowned champion and winner of the $10,000 prize, and his opponent Costi Blonde to walk away with the second place prize of $5,500. The weather has cooled down since last week, so let's head over to the Weather Center with Ashton Ray and see this week's forecast.
Thank you, Alexis. I'm Ashton Ray with your weekly forecast. Friday is going to be a high of 54 degrees in the morning, followed by in the afternoon a high of 67 degrees, while in the evening it's going to be a high of 71 degrees. Saturday is going to be raining with a high of 53 degrees and low of 44s. Sunday is going to be also raining with a high of 58 degrees and low of 43s. Monday is going to be nice and sunny with a high of 65 degrees and low of 44s. Tuesday is going to be raining with a high of 66 degrees and low of 46. And Wednesday is also going to be raining with a high of 68 degrees and a low of 51. Well, that's it for the weekly forecast. I'm Ashton Ray. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Let's check out the Widener events happening around campus this week. Mark your calendars because the International Student Club is hosting a multicultural dinner in the UC Atrium Friday, April 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. It'll be a night dedicated to celebrating the different flavors and traditions in the community. On Monday, April 27th, 2026, from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., the Widener University Muslim Student Association are doing a finals freeze on the University Center patio. This is a way for students to decompress as we get closer to the end of the semester. WUMSA will have water ice and games outside the UC. Calling all nursing students who are interested in entry-level externships and building connections. Join the Office of Career Design and Development for a networking event that connects nursing majors with recruiters from local hospitals. The event is April 27th in the UC Web Room from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Recruiters from Jefferson Health, Christiana Care, Cooper Health, Inspira Health, Bay Health, and Tower Health will be in attendance. The Iconic Era Modeling Troupe is holding an event, Era of the Icons, April 30th from 7 to 8 p.m. in Alumni Auditorium. It'll be a night of music, fashion, and dance.
Do you love Hispanic culture? The Latinos Unidos Club is hosting a Cinco de Mayo event on May 1st honoring Hispanic heritage and bringing people together through eating and dancing in a vibrant celebration of culture, community, and connection. On Friday, May 1st, the Pride Activities Council will be hosting the Spring Fling at the Schwartz Gym with performer Baby Tate. This event is open to Widener students only and no bags will be allowed. Doors open at 8:30 with the show starting at 9. RSVP on engage.widener.edu/events. On Friday, May 1st, from 10 p.m. to Saturday, May 2nd at 1 a.m., the Resident Hall Association is doing a late-night bite event in the University Center atrium. This event is the perfect way to celebrate the last day of classes. Join them for food trucks, music, and good vibes as we wrap up the semester together. With the semester coming to a close, the library has a few updates. The library's extended hours for finals will begin on Monday, April 27th. The library will be open until 1 a.m. from April 27th through May 6th. Remember that the library has sensory kits available for in-library use. Ask at the library information desk to use these resources. Over the semester, WUTV has covered a variety of stories from national and local news to campus events. So let's take a look back at our top stories.
Welcome to WUTV. I'm Allison Padula, and this is Alexis Hilton.
Thank you for watching this episode of WUTV. For Gage Grace, Jaden Crutchfield, Ashton Ray, Dillon Hastings, Jordan Scales, Lola Geyer, Connor Paine, Allison Padula, and all the behind-the-scenes crew, I'm Alexis Hilton. Good night.